but regarding the Eagles and Jeff's prophecy, Stevie Wonder saw this, didn't he? I mean, Jeff was out there, but I mean, anybody with eyes that can watch football, I mean, AJ Brown saw it. He said, this is going to come back to bite us, right?
Brick hands.
Yes, brick hands.
Brick hands.
But the way the Eagles played football, where they've been playing all, even though they were winning, we all knew they were living on borrowed time. And so Jeff was the one that put it out there. They falling apart. They're going to fall apart. They did fall apart eventually. Of course, the Cowboys could have helped them. If the Cowboys would have took care of their end of the business when they got on a 3-game winning streak and really finished strong, they may not even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But who didn't? Yes, I picked the Eagles over the 49ers because I thought the 49ers defense was decimated. Too many injuries that they would at least win at home. But, yes, put it out there. I was off one. I got one win. I thought the Packers would win, not because of Micah, because Micah wasn't playing.
Green Bay killed us.
And Micah Parsons Bears. Sucks. I mean, it is crazy, but getting back to the Eagles game, everything that we had been seeing and saying all year regarding that offense, great defense. It's funny because we talk about the Cowboys having a great offense and a poor defense, how the defense is holding them back. And the Eagles, defense wins championship, right? So we thought, well, maybe they can overcome the offense because defense wins championship, right, Nico? Defense wins championships. And we thought that could make a difference. But ultimately, it couldn't against a 49ers team full of truck drivers.
Yeah, you make a great point in that the Niners defensively, and that's what I'm going to transition to where we're to the Cowboys. Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator for the 49ers. I mean, he's taking guys. Eric Kendricks.
Former Cowboy.
Former Cowboy who was on the couch. He was chilling in one of these seats right here and insert him into the lineup, 10 tackles, made the game-winning, the game-sealing play at the end of it. But the Cowboys, they got finished with their defensive coordinator interviews. They interviewed Jim Leonard, DeAndre Jones, and Ephraim Banda.
Ephraim Banda, yes.
Yeah. And what have you heard anything from the inside, Clarence, about how those interviews went? They went via Zoom, right? So these guys didn't fly in. The first wave of interviews had to go by Zoom. Right. So they all, technology will become so far, they got to do Zoom now.
Man, I remember when you used to do fax. You used the fax contract.
Yeah.
I know what a fax is, right?
Yeah.
I know what a fax is.
Random story. I had to fax my application. When I did 4th and Long with Michael Irvin, I had to fax my application into there. That's a long time ago. Yeah. But yeah, anything from those developments?
I think that the most interesting thing.
It better be interesting.
Is that I run Venezuela. Jerry, will you allow Brian Schottenheimer to pick his own defensive coordinator? I run Venezuela. Jerry said.
Yep. Because
we all know Jerry is the one who had the connection with Matt Eberflus and hired Matt Eberflus. Schottenheimer had no connection with Matt Eberflus. He was a former Cowboys coach, Matt Eberflus, and Jerry's the one who brought him in. You look at all the coordinator hires, there's always connection with Jerry. You go back to Zimmer, that was Jerry's guy. And, I point blank asked him last week, will you let Brian hire his own guy? We always do it a collective thing. Well, you look at these coordinators, and from just talking to people, Brian is most definitely running the ship here. Brian is most definitely in charge. Brian's in charge here of who will be the next defense coordinator. And you can tell by the names that have already been interviewed, and we'll see as they go forward. But just looking at the guys that have been interviewed, Jeff Leonard. Jim Leonard. Jeff Leonard's a baseball player. He's played for 49ers, Jeff Leonard, right?
49ers?
49ers.
Giants.
Jesus Christ.
San Francisco. The 49ers just played. Anyway.
You ain't gonna beat them pop-up allegations. At this rate.
Sir, you didn't even know who Jeff Leonard was. Anyway, the bottom line is this. Jim Leonard is most likely the leader in the clubhouse. You talk about a guy who fits the bill. Brian, I keep saying Mike. Brian wanted a new coordinator who was a communicator, who was a teacher, who could translate and teach complex things and make and simplify. And that's who, from all the understanding and talking to people and this research on Jim Leonard, that's who he is. That fits. That fits what he has done.
If it's about the teaching of it, right? Because yes, teaching is a component of it. Right. You want to have teachers. You want to have people that are going to be able to communicate the message from the board, from the video, from the classroom to the field. Where is, because this is my question that I've had. Where's Jim Leonard at in development? Because I can give you information, but where is the part about developing, right? We need Savon Rebel to be developed. Right, you need Overshown to be developed. You need Maris Leofau to be developed. You need Donovan Ezeraku to be developed. Not just the teaching part of it. Is there a component of development?
Well, I mean, and that's where we're projecting, because let's be honest. There's a tier of coaches here, okay? And the tier of coaches here, the superstar tier of coaches is the Brian Flores, is
Jim Schwartz.
Schwartz. Is the current defense coordinator in Denver.
Vance Joseph.
Those guys look at head coaching jobs, right?
Right.
And so we're not at that tier of guys who are proven defense coordinators, even Raheem Morris, guys who are proven, who've had proven success, and some are former head coaches. We're not at that tier of interviewing yet. We're at the second tier. And that doesn't mean that they can't do it and won't be there, because everybody got to start. It was a stat this weekend. Somebody posted something on Twitter of Ohio State hired former New Mexico coach Nick Saban to be their secondary coach. It's way back when, it's early Nick Saban, Earl Bruce, the guy that got fired for punching the guy on the sideline, Ohio State, hired Nick Saban to be a secondary coach from some small school. And you know who he replaced? Pete Carroll, who went from Ohio State to NC State, okay, as the defense coordinator. But everybody got to start somewhere, is my point.
Right.
You go back, the fact that Ohio State way back when replaced Nick Saban with Pete Carroll, and both became more successful coaches than their head coach, who was respected head coach at the time and all that other stuff. So everybody got to get a start somewhere. So we're projecting what Leonard can do. You're projecting what Durante Jones. I mean, we basically projected what Schottenheimer could do as a head coach. We didn't know. Nobody knew.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to mess up CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott.
I understand that,
though, right? Like that's a pretty hard combination to mess up.
I mean, as a head coach, though, not just offensive coordinator, because he's ultimately going to be judged by being a head coach. I've said this many times. You get rid of defense coordinator this year. If you don't make the playoffs next year,
it's your job.
Then your job,
yeah.
Right.
Okay, so it's really about being a head coach, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it till we're blue in the face. It's all about the process.